We are live, Bob.
I feel alive.
We are alive thanks to hydrogen. Ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen, I have Bob Citrinelli, and he is a world renowned author and scientist. And he's here. He's going to be talking today about hydrogen and the upcoming event that we're all excited about. So, those of you that are just joining on, make sure to post comments. Please post comments because we're going to be giving away an event ticket. Last week, actually, no, this was just a couple of days ago, Callie won. Oh, there she is right there. Hi, Callie. So, Callie, congratulations on last week. What is it, Thursday? I was just Monday. The days are going so fast. Anyways, you won. So, thank you and congratulations, Callie, for your event ticket.
Good job, Kelly. Good job.
Yay. Awesome. So, make sure to post comments, questions. We're going to answer those questions and you'll have an opportunity to win a ticket yourself. All right, Bob, let's get going. Let's talk about hydrogen. Can you just tell the audience here a little bit about your background, what got you so excited about it?
Okay, well, let me give you the historical approach real quick. When I was a kid, I got really interested in my dad's garden with a bunch of plants and animals and little insects and all kinds of things. I was out there every day, just mesmerized by nature. So that got me really, and I was like 6, 7 years old, and I gravitated to high school, of course, and still got interested in biology, and then that was my favorite class, and I would study biology and got all A's and the dean's list and stuff like that. And then I brought that interest to college, undergraduate, and then became a TA instructor and taught biology and zoology and invertebrate zoology and botany to my fellow students because I was a TA, a teacher's assistant. And then when I graduated there, I went to graduate school and got a double major in microbiology and immunology.
Wow.
Microbiology study of germs and microbes, and immunology is the study of the power of your immune system, how your immune system works. So I got enamored by with that. And I used to work in a lab for a pharmaceutical company, and I made a bunch of different films on the immune system and cells. And they, you know, garnered about 34 international awards. And I was really, really happy about that and proud. And they're actually distributed in 80 countries. This is a while back, but they're still pretty good. So then from there, I got interested in dietary supplements and nutritional science. And I left the pharmaceutical company and went into my own research company called Sierra Productions Research. And I did research on nutritional supplements and got 8 patents on developed formulas too, and then did a bunch of research, about 8 studies on hydrogen and looking at the health benefits of hydrogen in the brain, its antioxidant capability, its anti-aging effects, and much more. So that's how I really got interested in studying and being committed to hydrogen. And I was so enamored with the research that not only myself and my colleagues have published, but also the the research showing with other people have done that was so prominent and so fantastic that I just had to have, and I got this burning desire to write this book that's fairly simple and straightforward on the wonders of hydrogen. And we'll talk about that a little bit later.
That's so great. And so it started with you from your passion and working with your father in the garden, and then you found yourself in pharmaceutical, and then you started creating films, and now you're a world-renowned author in this book. Oh my gosh, it is incredible. What I love the most about it, Bob, is you can understand it. If you try to, because there's what, 2,000 studies now on hydrogen?
That's right.
A standard person, when they read a study, you're like, well, okay, this is not making any sense. It sounds great. But what you've done is in your book, you took everything from that science literature and broke it down so you could easily explain it and understand it.
Yeah. The book kind of puts everything to a lower common denominator and makes it easily digestible. It has a lot of fun things in it too. I joke around a little. I have some cartoon characters that complement the description of what's in the text. And And I tell stories. There's a bunch of stories about how cells and hydrogen interact and work together. And then I put tell a story about you become micronized and you go into the veins of the body and float and see all of the, what you would see if you were, in a microscopic position. What would you see? And explain all that and how the body, and how hydrogen helps the cells to produce these absolutely phenomenal health benefits.
Yeah. And so, because you've done some studies yourself, like tell us the top three things that you love so much about hydrogen.
Okay, well, this is my personal opinion. Number one, it's a very powerful antioxidant. That means it can it can neutralize damaging chemicals. They're called free radicals. It can neutralize them, but it only goes after, it's selective. It only goes after the very bad free radicals and gets rid of those or neutralizes them. And some of them, they turn hydrogen turns them into water. Which, how great is that? And
Hmm.
then uh, being so small, it gets into every tissue, every organ, into the cell, into the body of the cell, into the nucleus, and even into the mitochondria, and even into the DNA, which is no other uh, chemical does that. No other nutrient does that. And the second thing is what really intrigues me is its ability to have this anti-inflammatory capacity. That means it reduces the swelling and inflammation that happens with every condition, aging, all kinds of diseases, and many other things, insults from the environment, like toxins. Inflammation occurs all over. It's able to modulate or control it. It either upregulates or makes it balances the inflammation effects, which very few other things can do. And lastly, to me, it actually amplifies or improves the function of the energy furnaces within the cell, the mitochondria. These are the batteries of the cell. It actually makes the mitochondria work better, which is phenomenal. And mitochondria is important in every aspect of every disease, every illness, every condition that you can possibly imagine. It's in every cell of the body. So those
Wow.
are the three things that I think are absolutely
Powerful.
awesome with
Powerful. We do have some questions coming in here. So if you are on here live with us, make sure you ask your questions. We have the guru himself right here ready for you. So I do have a couple other questions for myself that I know people are wanting to ask that for the future here for the replays. Tell us a little bit about diabetes specifically and how it can help with diabetes.
Okay, diabetes is a metabolic problem. It occurs when you have abnormal levels of insulin, glucose, and other factors that produce your body into a state of insulin resistance, or your insulin's not working. You need insulin to make glucose properly, but if you eat, say, too many carbs or too many sweets, especially sugar, your body gets out of whack. And this diabetes and metabolic syndrome that turns into diabetes can cause uh, many health conditions: heart disease, brain disease, cancer, and many more.
Yeah, interesting. We had a gal the other day came to one of our presentations. She had lost 40 pounds drinking the water. And she's a young gal. And she said, yeah, I used to have type 2 diabetes. Just got my blood sugar checked and no signs of it. It's like, wow, this is incredible what it's doing. And to release 40 pounds just by consuming different water, simple,
Yeah,
wonderful.
it's interesting that hydrogen was shown in about close 25 to 30 studies, not only reducing the effects of metabolic syndrome, which again is pre-diabetes, but also helping people with diabetes. And these are human studies and also animals too that they have models that mimic diabetes. So there is a good handful, 25 to 30 publications, which is outstanding.
Yeah, I start thinking to myself, why aren't more people drinking this water? I mean, we all drink water. Would you rather drink bottled water that we know is not good for you and is not good for the environment? It's expensive. Or our tap water? Just recently I've been doing so much research on tap water and all the contaminants. Not only the contaminants, but there's living bacteria in the water that don't get killed by chlorine. And now we're finding that these little bacteria are in our body causing all kinds of issues as well. So it's like, once we know about this, like, there's no other option. Everybody's going to want to drink this at some point. Is there any toxicity at any amount?
Uh, Not to my knowledge. We reviewed hundreds of studies, and there are review articles in many, many publications. Not one has any adverse effects, side effects, uh, drug nutrient interactions. That means they don't interfere with the medications that you've taken, and pretty much no side effects at all. And there's no reported effects. And I've talked to hundreds and hundreds of people, and each one of them, when the question arises, there's no damaging effects at all.
That's cool. What about, babies and moms that are pregnant?
I think it's uh, fine for children, babies, mothers, pregnant mothers, people of all ages, especially aged people, and again, very, very safe.
I
Probably
know
the
for
safest molecule, the safest substance nutrient to known,
Yeah,
in
I
my
know for myself, I'm super blessed, but I was having a lot of health issues when I was younger, from the ages like 22 to 28 or so, where I'd become literally, I used to be a professional figure athlete. So I'd go out there and, eat really good and go on stage and look good. But after that, I was out of balance. My body, 8 years clinically obese.
wow.
I was diagnosed with mercury poisoning and adrenal fatigue, and I had lost my female cycle for all of those years. And so the doctors basically said, we don't know what's going on in your body at the time. And, just, try this pill. And so I was trying all these pills, and it wasn't until I tried the water that completely changed my body. They told me I never have kids, and I have two daughters. I'm really blessed with that. But, I really believe that the water helped me in so many areas that my body was able to balance. So it's really
Yeah, yeah.
wonderful.
I think you mentioned toxicity of heavy metals. Well,
Mhm.
actually, hydrogen has the capability of improving the cell membrane integrity. That means it helps the cell get the good stuff in and gets rid of the bad stuff, the toxins to get out. So it's kind of how it has like a detox effect, which neutralizes or diminishes toxins in the environment and what you're exposed to.
No, it's so powerful. Thank you so much. All right, so we're going to take Callie has a question. She wants you to explain telomerase and telomers.
Oh, okay, good question. Okay, first let's start with telomeres. Well, telomeres are the caps on the end of the chromosomes. Chromosomes are like Y-shaped, and there's caps on the surface. The longer those caps, telomeres, the younger the cell is, or the less aged the cell is. When they become short, they become weakened, rapid aging, and die faster than the ones that have the long telomeres. So what we want to do is keep those telomeres long. And the key protein that keeps the telomeres in shape in really good condition is called telomerase, and that's a, a protein that protects the cells from keeps the telomeres long and protects the caps by keeping the DNA inside the chromosomes and not allowing it to spill out.
There's so many supplements out there too that people are spending a lot of money on that can do the same thing. But you're saying that hydrogen is able to help keep those telomeres intact.
Yes. Now, we have to understand that a good, healthy lifestyle works in combination with taking hydrogen. Like, for example, you want to reduce your stress, you want to have good nutrition and good diet, you want to get exercise, a proper amount of sleep, and other things that would lead to a more healthy life. And with the use of hydrogen, hydrogen can complement that and work in conjunction with good lifestyle changes to help improve not only the quality of your life but your overall wellness.
Awesome. All right. So now the question that people are seeming to ask a lot is the difference between alkaline ionized water and hydrogen water. I know I just had a gal this morning who had purchased an alkaline ionizer and she found my video on YouTube. She's like, oh my gosh, what did I do? Because there's so many misconceptions out there about this alkaline ionized water changing the body's pH, and you're having no possible disease process if your body is alkaline. And I know coming up in our event, you're going to have a really cool experiment you're going to do. So would you just shine some light on that, please?
Yeah, well, alkaline water, there's two things. It's electrolytic or ionizer effect, where there's minerals that produce alkaline water, and there's anywhere from 8.5 to 9.5 or even more. And supposedly there's a lot of um, information that's out there saying that the pH is good for you. But there are some comparative studies. Dr. Tyler Lambert published a review of these, showing that really it's not the pH that produces the effects that are promoted by a lot of alkaline water companies. It's actually the hydrogen that's also produced during this electrolysis that is really the key ingredient, the key secret sauce that is producing the health benefits, not alkalinity, but the hydrogen itself.
And so as far as the alkaline ionized water going into the body, it hits your stomach acid, and then what happens?
Well, your stomach has a pH of around 2, any 1.5 to 2 or so, which is a very acid pH. And if you add a strong acid like what's in the stomach, the acidity in the stomach, to alkaline water, it will neutralize the alkaline water or make it down to a pH of neutral or around that. So it's not it doesn't make sense scientifically, and you can prove this and if you come to the meeting, we'll have an experiment which you can actually see for yourself how simulated gastric fluid, what the acid that's in your stomach, the stuff that's in enzymes and other things, when you just put a small amount into alkaline water, it will neutralize or bring the pH way down. So it's almost instantly buffered, so to speak, as soon as you drink it. So the alkalinity is kind of a misnomer, and it's proven in quite a few publications.
Yep. I know. And back from the past, that's what we were, the demonstration is what sells most of the machines, when you can show someone, oh, look, it's changing the colors. It's like an aha moment.
Yeah.
But that's really what I'm very passionate about is helping re-educate the marketplace and get the science out so that we can get into doctors and hospitals' offices, because that's where it deserves to be.
Yeah.
And we really had a hard time in the past because the information wasn't accurate. So it wasn't credible to any scientists or doctors.
That's right. I think if we stay with science and have the validation backed by science, I think we're uh, this whole area of hydrogen and its benefits would definitely be of valued significance with backed, validated scientific evidence.
Yeah, and there's different ways you can take hydrogen. I know you were telling me, I haven't actually seen it myself, but the infusion into the blood. Can you give us a little bit more knowledge on that?
Yeah, there's many different ways. Like, for example, let's start with the IV administration. You can get an IV set up to your vein, and you can administer hydrogen saline solution, and that will slowly drip into the vein, and you get hydrogen that way. Or you can get it with IP injection, a syringe. You can inject it either under your skin or into your peritoneal cavity, into your body cavity. You could also inhale it, of course, with hydrogen gas through a nasal cannula, much like you would inhale oxygen. You can also, there's eye drops too. You can have hydrogen saline enriched eye drops that you can put into your eyes to help protect your eyes. And you can also use it topically, either in a bath with a hydrogen generator, or there's certain salts and minerals that you can put in your bath to promote the high concentration of hydrogen that's needed. And of course, there are topical applications. There are some creams that you put on your skin, and hydrogen is the smallest molecule in the universe, so it can penetrate almost instantly and get to every tissue, every cell, every tissue, every organ, and throughout your entire body relatively quickly.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool. And that just reminded me of the latest research here. We got certified for our device that not only makes water, you makes hydrogen in the eyes, like what we were just talking about. It goes in the ears and it goes in the nose. It got 4-in-1. It just got certified by H2 Hub of way over the limit that it needs to be at in order to give a benefit. So we're very excited about that.
Congratulations. That's terrific.
Yeah. Awesome. Now, Bob, I think we should give someone in the audience, a book. So anyone that's out there, I'm going to just pick on someone. We're just going to give them a book, your book, autographed, if you wouldn't mind, if that's okay with you.
Sure, absolutely.
All right. So I'm going to just randomly pick here. Let's see. Julie M. Sherman. Congratulations. You get to win Bob's book. Bob, just tell a little bit more about the book, just a little snippet here, and where people can go to order them.
Okay. The book, as Amanda mentioned, it's very simple to read, simple, easy, and fairly quick to read. Most people can read it in just a few hours or less. And it really takes the cell's approach, how hydrogen works with the cell, because the cell is the basic unit of life. Cells make up tissues, tissues make up organs, organs make up the body, and therefore the cell is the basic unit of life. So let's look at, and what the book encompasses is how hydrogen works to make your cells work better. And there's a number of different stories and different scenarios. There's some fascinating cartoons that will have you crack a smile. I tell a few jokes and some puns in there. I tell some stories about the travels of the cells and the immune system and how hydrogen works with the immune system. And there's a lot of cartoon kind of animations in it that will help you to understand and enjoy the book more.
Very cool. Thank you so much, Bob. So for all of you that are just tuning in, make sure to like and subscribe and turn on the bell on the YouTube channel. Follow us, because we are getting to a whole new adventure here. It is exciting. We're going to see a huge shift. We're going to go from seeing alkaline water on the shelf, the bottled water that everyone's drinking, and we're going to start seeing hydrogen everywhere. And we are the leaders that are going to start to do that. So you just keep watching. And if you're already in our company and you're not already affiliate, like, now is the best time, because we're going to Vegas. We got a charter bus here. 55 people from the Tri-City area are going to come to Vegas, and I already paid it. So if you guys are out there and you're like, hey, I want a business opportunity, I want to meet all these professionals in person, get my autograph pictures, everything, it's all going to be included. So if you want to do that, you got to let me know. We've got a few spots left on that charter bus. So it's going to be fun to see what's going to happen after that event. I know the whole lid's going to be wide open, and we're going to be so busy. So get ready, all of you out there. And Bob, thank you so much for your time. I really value you so much.
My pleasure.
All right. And so people can find your book on my website, healthyhydration.com. So just go there, get a book, get a few books. So for those of you that are out there wanting to promote hydrogen, it doesn't promote any specific products. You can go out there and you can share with everybody that you know, and that way they're gonna hear about it more and more. And that book's very valuable, so it's gonna help you sell out there in the marketplace as well. So thank you so much, everyone, and have a very fantastic weekend, and happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
All right, bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.